It is exactly 2 a.m., and you are staring at the shadows dancing on your ceiling. The air is cool, the house is dead quiet, but your brain is screaming at maximum volume. You have gone through the routine. You turned off your phone. You tried the breathing exercises. You even counted the proverbial sheep. But here you are, wide awake, feeling like a broken machine in a world that is perfectly powered down. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes with being awake at this hour. It is a mixture of guilt and anxiety, a feeling that you are failing at the most basic human function. You look at the clock and calculate how many hours of sleep you will get if you fall asleep right this second. 4 hours, then 3, then 2. You feel like an evolutionary mistake. But what if I told you that you are not broken? What if I told you that your inability to sleep through the night is not a defect, but a highly specialized survival mechanism that has been hard-coded into your DNA over 300,000 years? What if your 2 a.m. insomnia is actually a superpower that once saved the human race from extinction? To understand why you are lying awake right now, we have to travel back long before the invention of the alarm clock, before the Industrial Revolution, and even before the dawn of agriculture. We have to go back to the Pleistocene, when being a heavy sleeper was not a virtue, but a death sentence. For 99% of human history, we lived in small, vulnerable groups on the open savanna. When the sun went down, the world became a terrifying place. We were not the apex predators of the night. We were the prey. Saber-toothed cats, hyenas, and rival groups were all moving in the darkness while we were at our most vulnerable. If every single person in a tribe of 20 people fell into a deep 8-hour slumber at the same time, the group would not last a week. Someone had to stay awake. Someone had to be the sentinel. This is known as the Sentinel Hypothesis, and it is the key to understanding your late-night brain. In 2017, a group of researchers led by David Sampson studied the Hadza people of Tanzania. The Hadza are one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, living in a way that closely mirrors how our ancestors lived for hundreds of thousands of years. The researchers tracked the sleep patterns of 33 members of the tribe over 20 days. What they found was staggering. In over 200 hours of observation, there were only 18 minutes when every single person was asleep simultaneously. On average, at least 8 people were awake or in a state of light sleep at any given moment throughout the night. This was not a coincidence. It was a staggered defense system. The tribe had a natural distribution of chronotypes. Some were early birds who woke up at 4 in the morning to start the fires. Others were night owls who did not feel tired until 2 or 3 a.m. By having a diverse range of internal clocks, the group ensured that someone was always watching, always listening, and always ready to sound the alarm. If you are wide awake right now, it is because your biology has designated you as the night watchman. Your brain is hypervigilant because it thinks you are responsible for the safety of the tribe. That racing heart, that sensitivity to every tiny creak in the floorboards, that inability to shut off your thoughts, that is your internal radar scanning for threats that no longer exist. You are a modern person with a prehistoric security system. But the story of your insomnia goes even deeper than ancient predators. It touches on how we have fundamentally misunderstood sleep for the last 200 years. We have been told that a solid, uninterrupted 8-hour block of sleep is the only natural way to rest. But history tells a completely different story. Before the light bulb was invented, humans did not sleep in one big chunk. They practiced what historians call segmented sleep. In the 17th and 18th centuries, people would go to bed shortly after dusk for their first sleep. They would wake up around midnight or 1 a.m. and stay awake for 2 or 3 hours. During this time, they would pray, read, talk to their partners, or even visit neighbors. This period was known as the watch. It was a time of heightened creativity and quiet reflection. Then, they would go back to bed for their second sleep until dawn. This was the natural rhythm of humanity for millennia. When the Industrial Revolution arrived, we traded our natural rhythms for the efficiency of the factory clock. We forced everyone into a rigid 9-to-5 schedule and told them that if they could not sleep in a single 8-hour block, they were dysfunctional. We turned a biological diversity into a medical pathology. If you feel a surge of energy at midnight, it is not because you are a procrastinator. It is because for your ancestors, that was the most important time to be alert. Modern society has a profound bias toward the morning. We celebrate the early riser as disciplined and successful, while we label the night owl as lazy or unmotivated. But studies have shown that night owls often have higher verbal intelligence, better lateral thinking skills, and a greater capacity for creative problem solving. Your brain works differently in the silence of the night because that is when the sentinel does their best work. When the rest of the world is quiet, your mind is free to explore concepts and ideas that are drowned out by the noise of the day. The problem is that we are living in a world that is no longer built for sentinels. We have replaced the moon with blue light from our screens, which tricks our prehistoric brains into thinking the sun has not set yet. We have replaced the natural silence of the night with the constant hum of traffic and electronics. We are trying to run ancient software on modern hardware, and the system is crashing. So, how do you reclaim this superpower? The first step is to stop fighting it. The stress of trying to force yourself to sleep is often worse than the lack of sleep itself. When you lie in bed panicking about how tired you will be tomorrow, you are triggering a fight-or-flight response that makes sleep even more impossible. Instead, acknowledge your role. Tell yourself, I am awake because I am a sentinel. My brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. If you cannot sleep after 20 minutes, get out of bed. Go to a different room. Do something quiet and creative, just like our ancestors did during the watch. Read a book, write in a journal, or simply sit in the dim light. Do not look at a screen. Let your brain process the information it has been gathering all day. You will find that when you stop treating your wakefulness as an enemy, it becomes a period of profound clarity. We need to stop viewing insomnia as a disease to be cured and start seeing it as a trait to be managed. The world needs people who are awake when others are sleeping. We need the creators, the thinkers, and the guardians who operate in the quiet hours. Your 2 a.m. insomnia is a literal link to your ancestors. It is a testament to the fact that you come from a long line of survivors who stayed awake so that their families could live to see the sunrise. You carry the torch of the night watchman. The next time you find yourself awake in the dead of night, remember that you are not alone. You are part of a global tribe of sentinels who have been keeping watch for 300,000 years. Embrace the quiet, harness the creativity, and most importantly, stop being so hard on yourself. Your biology is not failing you. It is protecting you. If this perspective shift helped you feel a little less alone in the dark, please consider subscribing and sharing this with someone else who is likely awake right now. We are building a community of people who understand the science behind our strangest human behaviors. Leave a comment below and tell me what your brain does during your 2 a.m. watch. Do you find yourself more creative, more anxious, or just more curious? Let us start a conversation in the comments for all the night owls out there. Thank you for watching, and maybe, just for tonight, try to enjoy the quiet.